Well, it turns out I'm still here. Formula One tried to take me out. Took down 18 videos, complained to YouTube on 6 different occasions about 18 different videos which it got taken down from YouTube, and tried to destroy this channel. Got YouTube to impose 6 strikes. The limit is 3. If you get 3 strikes, unless you appeal, and unless you have validity to your appeal, YouTube will destroy your channel. It will be gone. And that's what Formula One attempted to do to this channel. 18 videos, the title of which analysed, should Max Verstappen have been penalised? Albon v Leclerc, F1 overtake analysis. See, analysis, FIA incompetence again. What am I doing? I'm analysing there. Oh, that's fair use, isn't it? My human error by fix. Maybe I'm using something as demonstrating something. Oh, that's educational. Lando Norris nearly killed by Verstappen. Oh, analysis, that is there. Max Verstappen's infringement of, that's analysis, yeah. How long will they wait? Analysis of fraudulent narrative. No last lap shootout comparison. Oh, that's copyrighted. No, that's fair usage. Ban Max Verstappen. Yay, because why would that be? Oh, analysis. Racing bull failing to race. Oh, that would be analysis. This is all fair usage, is it not, Formula One? David Crofty Croft. That one. Spanish Grand Prix preview. Oh, was that some sort of analysis as well? Go and take a look. What's this one? Formula One. Which infringement is where? Oh, comparative analysis. There we go. Why no stop go pan? Oh, analysis. You're allowed to use material if you're doing appropriate analysis of it, aren't you, Formula One? That's not an infringement. F1 TV. The director's cut. Is that exposing the way you manipulate people's minds by picking and choosing what it is you want to show to people, Formula One? Oh, is it that one? Grand Prix qualifying manipulation. Oh, you wanted to take that one down. Is that right? Okay. Why Sky Sports F1? Why Formula One? The FIA has a duty to educate and enforce driving standards. Oh, we'll take that one down. And what's this one? Anthony Davidson analyses Imola overtake. So, oh, this is the analysis you do like, but when it's analysed that it's wrong analysis, you don't like that. Okay. So you tried to take me down. You tried to take me out, didn't you? Digitally. You digitally tried to take me out, didn't you, Formula One? Well, that didn't work. I mean, you might still try. You might get your fancy the CEO. He's a lawyer. Okay, get your fancy lawyers. Get your legal advice to how to do it. You see, what I would have liked, is just basic communication, treating people like decent human beings. I did give you the opportunity. Okay, before embarking on any of this, I gave you the opportunity. Okay, it started back in 2022. And I sent you this email not so long back. This was at the same time as I made these appeals on YouTube, these counter notifications on YouTube. But this went to you, Formula One. Dear Formula One, I contacted you multiple times after the fraud that was the Abu Dhabi 2021 Grand Prix, seeking for you to do the right thing. You never did. You ignored my communications. Over 100,000 people signed a petition to change the result of that fraud. You did nothing but control the media narrative, controlling people's minds in order to get away with your crimes. Fraud, deception, and the complicity of all in sport manipulation, sport fixing. You are now seeking to silence those who are exposing you through the notion of copyright. I go on to say that it was all entirely fair use, and I copied and pasted what I sent to YouTube, which then got forwarded to Formula One in regard of that. And I'll finish off by saying you fraudulently made huge gains in 2021 and have continued to rape people's minds ever since. The truth will eventually surface and the perpetrators will be exposed. You made your choices for money. I make mine. Because what you are perpetrates harm to the very core of what should be the basic values of humanity. Time will tell which side will prevail. James Atkins. You see, Formula One, you've not responded. You've not had the courtesy to respond to an email, have you? You know that you are perpetrators. You know that you're criminal scum. But you hide behind the facade of integrity. Now, you know, this is the legal argument that you could present in a court of law. There's many, you know, you could get a fancy lawyer, it could argue this, you could argue that. I could get a fancy lawyer that could argue, and we could, you know, argue for 3 years and then reach a financial settlement and agreement. It's all bullshit. We all know it is. You're the lawyers, you know that it's a bullshit construct. I know it's a bullshit construct. I know what it's all about. I'm experiencing it. I also know that the judiciary of the UK is corrupt at certain levels. Let's see as we escalate through the levels whether that corruption is still the case. But certainly at certain levels of the judiciary, it definitely is. And I've got the evidence of that, and that will be exposed to the people at some point in time. So don't you worry your little heads about that at this stage. But Formula One, we're talking about Formula One right here. One of the arguments that you could use Formula One is this one, because this comes from the Entertainment and Sports Law Journal, okay? And it's about sporting events as dramatic works in the UK copyright system. So it's sporting events, dramatic works, and copyright. Now, let's have a look, because you know these people in the comment section, some of them think they're legal experts. We get the Johnny Wank Rag, like to tell us what they think. You know, they like to tell me that yes, your channel's going to taken down because you clearly use it as copyright. I'm still here, lads, but you're still here as well. You come here to tell us what you think in the comment section, and you think that you should be entitled to be able to debate with me in the comment section. Because that's the generation you are, the entitled ones, aren't you? No, if you got something to say, get your own channel, make a video on it, and then see who's interested in interacting with you, because I'm not interested in interacting with wank rags like you. Anyway, this is for Formula One. This is the abstract of that article, Formula One. Let's have a look. It says the Court of Justice of the European Union, and let's just hope that that's not as corrupt as some of the UK judiciary. Anyway, let's just hope. We can only hope. You know, we all have to be living within the confines of this construct, and we would hope that the construct is fit for purpose and not corrupt. Evidently, it is corrupt. Evidently, this system that should be here for all of us human beings that live on this planet, you know, should have a right to exist, a right to life, and basic human rights, and that the systems in place that we all have to fund through taxation are actually fit for purpose and are not just corrupted by outside interests. Billionaires, you know, bribing individuals, bribing the system to create policies for the benefit of the billionaires, rather than what's right and lawful. But don't worry about that at this stage. We're not talking about that. We're just talking about Formula One, aren't we? Just Formula One. So, in the Football Association, Premier League and Murphy rulings, the Court of Justice ruled in that categorically concluded that sporting events themselves, and in particular football matches, could under no circumstances be classified as works for the purposes of copyright at the EU level, as they are not given author's own intellectual creations within the meaning of the Information Society Directive 2001/29/EC. Besides dismissing copyright in a sporting event per se, the CJEU leaves open to domestic legal orders its inclusion into the subject matter that is worthy of protection, comparable to that granted to works. The proposal advocated in this article is to entitle certain sporting events, the so-called choreographed sports, to copyright protection in the UK, rather than to other IPRS or specific agreements concluded between a holder of IPRS and a broadcaster. So Formula One, what you can do is you can take me to court for my breaches of copyright if you want to claim that Formula One is indeed a choreographed sport. Okay, because then a choreographed sport here, where it has got the author's own intellectual creation. See this one here, author's own intellectual creation. When Martin Brundle said you couldn't make it up, when the world championship has been settled on the last lap of the last Grand Prix of the season, you couldn't make it up, could you? Or could you? Could that be an author's own intellectual creation? Could it be that you contrived a Grand Prix whereby it was hit with a safety incident late in the race, and were it not for a smoke and fire, that race got resumed with 1 lap to go, validly. But that smoke and fire fucked that up, didn't it? So we had to break the rules to manufacture what we wanted. But you couldn't make that up, could you? And miraculously, that miracle, the racing gods enabled the last lap, the author's own intellectual creation for a choreographed sport. Now, I think I'm no lawyer, Formula One. You, the CEO of Formula One management, you are a lawyer. Maybe you should take the legal argument that Formula One is indeed a choreographed sport, and therefore my videos do act in breach of copyright. Perhaps you should do that. Let's do that, Formula One. Let's show the world that it's a choreographed sport, shall we? That you are the authors of your intellectual creation. Clever lads you are, aren't you? But don't you worry your little heads. It's a highly complex technical sport. Very, very complicated. Just like the law, just like the legal system. And can all be manipulated, can't it? Just like Sir Lewis said. This has been manipulated, man. Anyway, I am back. Never went away, really. Just got blocked from creating content for a few days until I made those counter notifications. So I will get back on to doing some previews for this weekend's Belgian parade, which we're all looking forward to, and just addressing 3 of the key issues, because this is important. This is far bigger than Formula One, far, far bigger than Lewis Hamilton and Formula One. What they did to us should serve as a wake-up call to everybody. They contrived something that went on in this world, something that should have been authentic sport. Okay? An authentic contest, they contrived it. They manipulated what we were led to believe about it through what they showed us, through their TV screens, through their TV broadcast of the situation. They manipulated our minds to believe it to be a certain way. With how they talked about it, with the audio interjections, they manipulated our minds to believe it to be a certain way. With their then presented broadcasters, their contracted media, the mind conditioning machine media, they got us to believe it to be a certain way. They introduced the dynamics of conflict, getting people to argue over it, to divert a situation. They made money out of that situation. They then want to control the dynamics where they do not get held accountable for what they've done. They made money out of it. Them same dynamics are happening in everything that is taking place in this world right now. It's been like this for decades. Probably been like this throughout the course of time. The medium for informing us all has changed over time. Whether that be religious establishments, where it had the minds of the masses at it there collectively, in order to be able to feed people the narrative of the day. That then got on to being able to broadcast to the message via the use of radio. Obviously, the written media, that would have been used to broadcast to the masses the narrative that those with the power and the influence wanted to make people believe it to be that way. And then we've got television, and now we've got digital media. And they set the narrative. They tell us the version of events that they want us to believe about so many things. And they use the notion of conflict, getting us to fight each other, whether that be on nationality, whether that be on religion, whether that be on skin colour, whether that be on whatever divide that they want to pick out, class, okay, whatever it might be, social class, wealth status, divide people, get people fighting each other. Because while people are fighting each other, they don't look at us and see how we're perpetrating and we're directing things, and we're the ones that are making money. And when I say we, it's the corrupt billionaires that are owning everything, and we're enslaved to the system that they are ultimately controlling. It's a system that's a facade because it doesn't hold them to account. They have enough wealth, then those so-called bodies that are supposed to be holding everybody to account within the system, they don't. They don't hold those at the very top to account, do they? That's wrong. So if you're going to hold us to that, you hold everybody to that. Let's not fight each other. Unfortunately, this message is going to be lost on the Johnny Wank Rags in the comments section. Every video is here to educate. Every video is here to explain the true reality of something, but people still want to argue it. Right, there's a reason that you still want to argue. It's because you'll see you next Tuesday. Okay? People like you exist in this world. This is what they do. They use that dynamic, and rather than say people like that are the problem, no, they use people like that to fight those that are seeking for people to do the right thing in this world. Let's realise who the enemy is, and let's do the right thing. Thank you all for your time.